Another year is quietly closing its doors and a new one is waiting to open. And you might be thinking, this is another video about New Year resolutions, about becoming more positive, more productive, more disciplined. No, this is not that video, because you already know your resolutions. You already know what you plan to change, yet deep down, something still feels unresolved. Today, I want to share one spiritual practice rooted in Buddhist teachings that is not meant only for January, not only for a fresh start, but for every single day of your life. A practice that helps you choose yourself when no one else does, teaches you how to detach, stop being nice out of fear, build your self-worth, find yourself, and truly love yourself. Trying too hard is the first mistake. This is not about forcing change. It is about awakening to one truth that quietly changes everything. Stay with me, because this practice may be the missing piece you've been searching for. 1. Stop forcing the river. You begin this year with force in your hands and tension in your chest, telling yourself that this time you will finally change. You promise discipline, productivity, perfection. Yet beneath that effort, something feels heavy. Why does self-improvement exhaust you instead of freeing you? Because change pushed by force does not create peace. It strengthens the voice that believes you are not enough. What is pushed against will always push back. In quiet teachings, there is a truth rarely spoken aloud. Forcing growth is still resistance. You try to fix yourself as if you are broken, and in doing so, you declare war on your present moment. The mind tightens, the heart hardens, and suffering quietly grows. Ask yourself, if force truly worked, why would you feel so tired every time you try to become better? Forcing change is like trying to straighten a river with your hands. Its resistance is not failure, it is nature. The river does not argue with the stones in its path. It does not rush, yet it never stops. It bends, it flows, and somehow, without struggle, it always reaches the ocean. Imagine that river now, moving around obstacles with calm certainty. Feel how it advances without violence, guided not by pressure, but by understanding. Now, look honestly at your life. Where are you pushing instead of listening? Where are you demanding transformation instead of allowing awareness? Maybe it is your career, your habits, your emotions, or your past. What are you trying to fix that first needs to be understood? And what would happen if just for today, you stopped forcing? Here is the habit that changes everything. Replace force with attention. Instead of commanding yourself to be calm, notice tension. Instead of punishing yourself for distraction, observe it. Sit with your breath for 1 minute without trying to improve it. Watch your thoughts without chasing or rejecting them. This is not passivity. This is disciplined awareness. When effort becomes quiet, life finally listens. In the beginning, this feels uncomfortable. The ego wants control, timelines, proof of progress. But something subtle begins to shift. The mind softens. Choices become clearer. Actions rise naturally from understanding, not pressure. You stop fighting yourself, and energy returns. This is the turning point most people miss. Real change does not begin when you demand more from yourself. It begins when you stop standing in your own way. Let this year be the one where you build a strong, disciplined mindset, rooted in calm, not force. Remember this as you move forward. Life does not resist you when you stop resisting yourself. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "This year is mine." 2. Begin without becoming. You step into a new year, believing change requires becoming someone else. Better habits, stronger confidence, a sharper identity. Yet notice the quiet pressure beneath that belief, the feeling that who you are right now is insufficient. Why must growth always feel like self-replacement? Because the mind has been taught that peace is earned by addition, not discovered through release. Buddhism never asks you to improve your identity, only to see through it. This is where most people suffer without realizing it. You keep adding roles, goals, and expectations, hoping one of them will finally bring calm. But the weight increases, the mind grows louder, and still fulfillment stays distant. Freedom is not adding light, but removing what blocks it. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your effort is spent maintaining an image rather than meeting life directly? You are not carving a statue out of stone. You are brushing dust off a mirror. Nothing new needs to be created. Nothing old needs to be destroyed. The peace you seek is already present, waiting beneath layers of belief. Picture yourself now, gently setting down a heavy bag you have carried for years. Expectations, labels, old stories about who you should be. Notice how light your body feels when nothing is being held up, defended, or proven. The habit that changes your life begins here. Practice subtraction. Instead of asking, "Who must I become this year?" ask, "What can I stop carrying today?" Stop rehearsing the past. Stop explaining yourself internally. Stop chasing approval in silence. Each moment of letting go creates space, and in that space, clarity naturally appears. When effort becomes quiet, right action rises on its own. This practice will challenge you. The ego fears emptiness because it survives on identity. It will whisper that without labels, you are nothing. But sit with that discomfort. Stay present. You may discover something unexpected without the burden of becoming. You are more responsive, more focused, more alive. Productivity improves not through pressure, but through inner order. Calm is not laziness, it is precision. As this year unfolds, reflect deeply. What are you ready to stop carrying into 2026? Which belief about yourself feels heavy, rehearsed, and no longer true? And when nothing needs to be proven, who are you then? This is the quiet turning point. The year does not change your life. The moment you stop adding weight to your mind does. 3. Make kindness your daily discipline. You wake up each morning thinking, discipline must be hard, sharp, and relentless. You plan big resolutions, strict routines, and silent battles with yourself. Yet notice what actually heals you, not force, not achievement, but a small, unexpected moment of kindness. Why do these moments soften you so quickly? Because compassion dissolves separation, the true root of suffering. When kindness appears, the mind stops defending itself. Most people underestimate this practice because it looks simple, but simplicity is not weakness. Kindness is not a personality trait, it is a daily discipline. What you touch with care begins to heal. The tone of your thoughts changes when you act gently. The nervous system loosens its grip. Even your breath deepens without instruction. This is not emotional softness. This is mental clarity returning to its natural state. Kindness is like a quiet bell. It does not demand attention, yet its sound lingers long after the strike. A small gesture, a patient response, a moment of understanding instead of reaction. These acts echo through the mind long after the moment passes. They rewire how you meet stress, conflict, and uncertainty. Ask yourself, why do you remember kindness more clearly than praise or success? Recall now a small kindness you once received unexpectedly. Perhaps someone listened without interrupting. Perhaps they helped without being asked. Feel that warmth again, spreading slowly through your chest. Notice how the body relaxes without effort. This is the state most people chase through ambition, yet it arrives through something far quieter. Here is the habit that changes your year. Make kindness intentional, not as performance, not to be noticed. Choose one small act each day that no one needs to see. Speak gently when irritation arises. Offer patience where you would normally rush. Treat yourself with the same care you reserve for others. These moments train the mind to remain open instead of defensive. Over time, your inner world becomes less reactive, more stable, and deeply focused. There is a hidden shift here. When you practice kindness, you stop seeing life as something to conquer. You begin to experience it as something to cooperate with. Productivity improves because resistance fades. Fear loses its edge because you are no longer fighting yourself. Calm becomes your default, not a reward. As you move through this year, reflect honestly. Who can you treat gently today without being seen? How does kindness change your inner state instantly? And what if this simple practice, not force, not ambition, became your most powerful habit all year? Remember this quietly. The mind becomes what it repeatedly touches. Touch it with care. Choose stillness over reaction. You move through your days reacting before you realize it. A message triggers tension. A delay sparks irritation. A memory pulls you backward. And slowly, without noticing, your energy burns away. Why do calm people seem unshakable while others collapse under pressure? Because stillness trains the mind how to respond instead of react. Power is not loud. It is composed. Reaction feels fast, but it is never wise. It borrows from fear, habit, and old conditioning. Stillness, however, creates space, and in that space, choice appears. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When you pause, the mind stops defending itself and begins to see clearly. Ask yourself, how many problems in your life are created not by events, but by immediate reactions? A still lake reflects the moon perfectly. Even the slightest ripple distorts the image. Your mind works the same way. When agitated, even truth appears threatening. When calm, reality becomes workable. Stillness does not remove challenges. It removes distortion. And suddenly, what felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your thoughts settling like dust. No pushing, no judging, just allowing. Notice the clarity that appears when nothing is stirred. This is not escape. This is precision. From here, decisions feel clean. Words feel measured. Action becomes effective rather than exhausting. The habit that changes your life is simple but demanding. Pause before response. When emotion rises, do not suppress it. Sit with it. Breathe once more than usual. Let the body catch up to the moment. This brief stillness interrupts old patterns. Over time, the nervous system learns safety without urgency. Calm becomes trained, not accidental. This practice reveals an unexpected truth. Stillness is not weakness. It is containment. It allows intensity without collapse. It allows productivity without burnout. When you stop reacting, you conserve energy. When you conserve energy, focus sharpens. And when focus sharpens, effort becomes efficient instead of frantic. This is how inner discipline is built quietly. Reflect honestly now. Where do you react automatically instead of pausing? In conversations, in self-criticism, in moments of pressure. What truth only appears when you slow down enough to hear it? You may find that clarity has been waiting patiently for your silence. Let this year be defined not by louder effort, but by deeper restraint. Choose stillness over reaction again and again. In doing so, you train a strong, disciplined mindset rooted in calm and positive thought. Remember this when life pulls at you. When the mind is still, even truth becomes gentle. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "This year is mine." 5. Say no to the shiny path. You feel restless even when nothing is wrong, so you reach for more. More information, more goals, more possibilities. Each option promises relief, yet peace feels further away. Why does chasing more create less calm? Because desire multiplies faster than fulfillment. What you chase controls you, quietly deciding where your attention leaks away each day. Distraction does not arrive as chaos. It arrives as opportunity, a new path, a better option, a brighter promise. And soon your energy is scattered across 1,000 directions. Distraction is 1,000 open doors. None of them lead home. The mind grows tired, not from effort, but from indecision. Ask yourself, how much of your exhaustion comes from wanting too much at once? The suffering here is subtle. You are never fully present because something else might be better. You are never satisfied because the next desire is already forming. This is how peace is postponed indefinitely. When attention is divided, nothing receives care. When nothing receives care, fulfillment never matures. Imagine now closing unnecessary doors gently, one by one, not in anger, not in fear, simply with clarity. Feel the relief of fewer choices, fewer comparisons, fewer inner negotiations. As doors close, the mind quiets. A single path becomes visible, and with it, a sense of direction returns. This is not limitation. This is freedom through focus. The habit that changes your life is the courage to say no. No to constant stimulation, no to borrowed desires, no to paths chosen only because others walk them. Choose one direction that truly matters and give it your full attention. Depth creates peace far more reliably than speed. When the mind stops chasing, it finally arrives. There is a deeper truth hidden here. Desire is endless, but attention is not. Where you place your attention shapes your inner world. When attention is scattered, anxiety grows. When it is unified, calm stabilizes. Simplicity does not shrink your life, it concentrates it, and concentrated energy becomes powerful without strain. As this year unfolds, reflect with honesty. What are you chasing that quietly costs your peace? What deserves your full attention now, not someday? And what would simplicity give you that ambition never could? Let this be the year you stop opening new doors and start walking one clear path with presence. Remember this clearly. The mind finds rest not by having more, but by wanting less. 6. Sleep like a monk. You end most days exhausted yet unable to rest. The body lies down, but the mind keeps working, replaying, scrolling, planning. Why does true rest feel rare, almost sacred when it finally arrives? Because the body listens when the mind stops abusing it. Sleep becomes spiritual the moment it is chosen with awareness, not collapsed into from fatigue. Most people treat night as an afterthought, a place to fall into rather than enter. But how you end the day shapes the mind you wake with. When nights are noisy, mornings inherit confusion. When nights are respected, mornings rise with clarity. This is not about hours alone, it is about intention. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect expressed quietly. Night is a temple, yet many enter it shouting, dragging the noise of the world behind them. Screens glare, thoughts race, the nervous system stays alert, as if danger never ends. Stillness cannot arrive where reverence is absent. Ask yourself, if you treated rest as sacred, how differently would you prepare for it? Picture yourself turning off the world earlier than usual, not as loss, but as release. Lights dim, devices rest, the breath deepens on its own. Feel your nervous system sigh with relief, as if it has been waiting all day for permission to stop defending. This is not laziness. This is recovery, and recovery is where strength is rebuilt. The habit that changes your year begins each evening. Choose a closing ritual, a fixed time when stimulation ends, a few quiet minutes with your breath, a gentle signal to the mind that effort is complete. Over time, sleep deepens, emotions stabilize, focus sharpens. You stop borrowing energy from tomorrow to survive today. There is a deeper truth here. When you deny rest, you teach the mind that worth comes from constant output. When you honor rest, you teach it safety. From safety, discipline grows naturally. You wake with less resistance, fewer cravings, clearer priorities. Productivity improves, not because you push harder, but because you are no longer depleted. Reflect honestly tonight. What are you sacrificing sleep for, and is it truly worth the cost? How would your relationships, work, and inner calm change with deeper rest? And can discipline be an act of kindness toward yourself rather than control? Let this year be shaped by nights that heal you. Remember this quietly as the day ends. When rest is respected, life begins to listen. 7. Relationships reveal the mind. You feel it most clearly in relationships, the tension, the misunderstandings, the silent need to be right. Why do the same conflicts repeat, even when your intentions are good? Because relationships do not respond to words alone. They respond to awareness. As awareness deepens, conflict fades, not because others change, but because the ego stops defending itself. Most arguments are not about truth. They are about identity, being seen, being validated, being protected. The moment you feel threatened, the mind sharpens its edges. But peaceful people do not win arguments. They outgrow them. They recognize that no victory achieved through tension ever brings rest. Ask yourself, how often do you seek to be right when what you truly want is peace? Awareness works like a mirror. When you are present, others see themselves more clearly in you. When you listen without judgment, defensiveness loses its fuel. The energy in the room shifts, not because you controlled it, but because you stopped resisting it. This is not passivity. This is clarity expressed through restraint. Imagine listening now without preparing a response. No inner rehearsing, no silent counterattack, just presence. Feel how tension dissolves when nothing is being defended. In that stillness, words land differently. Silence becomes supportive instead of awkward. This is how trust is built without effort. The habit that changes your relationships is simple but demanding. Bring awareness instead of correction. Before responding, notice your body. Notice tightening. Notice urgency. Then pause. Let the need to fix or win soften. Speak only after you have met the moment fully. Over time, this practice retrains the mind to value connection over control. There is a deeper shift here. When the ego stops defending, compassion rises naturally. You begin to see pain beneath behavior, fear beneath anger, confusion beneath harsh words. This does not make you weak, it makes you accurate. And accuracy brings peace far more reliably than dominance ever could. Reflect honestly as you move through this year. Where do you seek to be right instead of peaceful? Which relationship needs your presence, not your correction? And who are you when you stop defending yourself? Let this be the year your relationships become places of awakening, not struggle. Remember this quietly. Others do not meet your arguments. They meet your state of mind. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "This year is mine." 8. Presence is the habit beneath all habits. You spend much of your life preparing for a future that never fully arrives. The mind plans, reviews, and worries, while the present moment passes unnoticed. Yet ask yourself honestly, When do you feel most clear, most grounded, most alive? It is always now. What if the most powerful habit already contains all others? Presence transforms action without effort because it removes the resistance that effort tries to overcome. Most habits fail because they are built on force. You try to control behavior without understanding the state of mind behind it. But when you are here, life knows what to do. Awareness organizes action naturally. You speak more carefully, you choose more wisely, you rest when rest is needed, and move when movement is right. This is not discipline imposed, it is intelligence revealed. Presence is the soil from which every meaningful habit grows. Without soil, nothing takes root. Without awareness, routines become mechanical and fragile. But when attention is steady, even small actions carry depth. Eating becomes nourishing. Working becomes focused. Listening becomes healing. Ask yourself, how many of your struggles come from acting while not fully present? Feel your breath entering and leaving without trying to improve it. No correction, no rhythm to chase. Notice how nothing is missing in this moment. The body is supported. The mind is capable of stillness. In this simple awareness, the urge to escape softens. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are already inside it. The habit that changes everything is returning to presence again and again. When distraction appears, notice it. When emotion rises, feel it fully. When the mind drifts, guide it back without judgment. This gentle return builds a strong, disciplined mindset without aggression. Over time, awareness becomes your default, not an effort. Here is the turning point most people overlook. Presence does not make life passive. It makes it precise. You waste less energy. You react less. You recover faster. Fear loses its grip because it cannot survive sustained attention. Productivity improves because you are no longer divided. Calm deepens because the mind stops arguing with reality. As this year unfolds, reflect quietly. How often are you truly here, not lost in thought or anticipation? What changes when you give full attention to a single moment, and can awareness become the habit beneath all habits this year? Let this be the foundation you stand on. Remember this clearly. The moment you arrive fully, the path reveals itself without effort. 9. Happiness must be practiced. You wait for happiness as if it will arrive later, when conditions improve, when goals are reached, when life finally settles. But notice the pattern. Each time circumstances change, contentment slips away again. Why does happiness fade when we wait for it? Because peace is not found, it is cultivated. What you water grows, whether you intend it or not. Most people practice dissatisfaction daily without realizing it. They rehearse worry, comparison, and self-criticism, and then wonder why joy feels distant. The mind becomes skilled at what it repeats. Happiness does not disappear because life is difficult. It disappears because attention is never trained to notice what is already sufficient. Ask yourself, what are you unconsciously feeding each day? Happiness is like a garden. Neglect grows weeds effortlessly. If nothing is tended, restlessness takes over. But when care is consistent, even in small amounts, life responds. Joy does not need grand moments. It needs presence and permission. This is not denial of pain. It is balance. Without joy, endurance becomes bitterness. Picture one simple moment you can enjoy fully today. Warm light through a window, the taste of tea, a quiet breath at the end of effort. Let it be enough. Notice how the body responds when nothing else is required. In this moment, happiness is not a reward. It is a practice being completed. The habit that changes your life is choosing joy deliberately, not forcing positivity, not ignoring hardship, simply recognizing moments that are already kind and allowing them to land fully. Pause when something feels good. Stay with it a little longer than usual. This trains the mind to register safety, warmth, and meaning. Over time, the nervous system learns contentment as a familiar state. Here is the deeper shift. When joy becomes intentional, life stops being a constant test. You take responsibility for your inner climate instead of outsourcing it to events and people. Gratitude strengthens focus. Calm supports discipline. Happiness becomes stable, not fragile. This is emotional maturity, not indulgence. Reflect honestly as this year begins. What small joy have you been postponing until conditions improve? Do you treat happiness as a reward or as a daily practice? And what if joy was your responsibility, not life's gift to you? Let this be the year you cultivate what sustains you. Remember this quietly. Circumstances change endlessly, but what you practice shapes who you become. Success follows alignment. You chase success as if it lives somewhere ahead of you, waiting at the end of effort. Yet notice who appears truly successful, the ones who move with ease, not urgency. Why do peaceful people seem effortlessly effective? Because clarity removes friction. When the mind is aligned, action stops fighting itself. Aligned effort needs less force because it is no longer divided. Most struggle is not from lack of ability, but from inner conflict. One part of you wants approval, another wants rest, one wants meaning, another wants speed. When values pull in different directions, even simple tasks feel heavy. You push harder, but resistance grows. Ask yourself, how much of your effort is spent overcoming yourself? A compass does not run. It does not argue with the terrain. It simply points true north. Alignment works the same way. When you know what matters, decisions simplify. Energy stops leaking into doubt. You may still work hard, but the work feels clean. Pressure fades because direction is clear. Imagine making decisions without inner conflict. No second guessing, no quiet regret, just a calm sense of rightness. Feel how ease replaces pressure when your actions match your values. This is not perfection. This is honesty, and honesty is stabilizing. The habit that changes your life is daily alignment. Before acting, pause and ask one question. Does this move me closer to what I value or further from it? Listen inward before responding outward. When choices are aligned, motivation becomes steady instead of frantic. You stop chasing outcomes and start building coherence. There is a turning point here. Success pursued without peace creates impressive exhaustion. Success grown from alignment creates sustainability. You recover faster. You say no without guilt. You commit without resentment. Results arrive not because you are forcing them, but because nothing inside you is pulling against the direction you've chosen. Alignment also reshapes discipline. You no longer need constant self-control because fewer choices compete for attention. Focus sharpens. Time feels cooperative. Even setbacks teach instead of drain. This is inner order expressing itself as outer flow. Reflect honestly as you step forward. Where are you misaligned with your values, even slightly? What decision would feel lighter if you listened inward first? And what does success mean if peace is absent from it? Let this year be guided by alignment rather than pressure. Remember this quietly. The more clearly you point inward, the less effort life demands outward. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "This year is mine." 11. Start the year awake. You stand at the edge of a new year, carrying plans, intentions, and quiet expectations. Yet pause and ask yourself, what if 2026 does not need another plan, but a deeper presence. Most people begin the year asleep in habit, repeating familiar patterns with new labels. Awakening is not dramatic, it is honest. It begins the moment you stop pretending not to see what you already know. Awareness is the true beginning. Without it, every goal becomes another form of sleep. You move, but you do not arrive. You achieve, but you do not feel. The moment you see clearly, the path appears, not because life changes, but because confusion loosens its grip. Ask yourself, are you living consciously or simply performing yesterday's routines with tomorrow's hope? Dawn does not rush. The light arrives quietly, without force or announcement. Awakening works the same way. It is a subtle shift from unconscious reaction to conscious choice. You notice how you speak. You notice how you spend time. You notice what drains you and what steadies you. Nothing magical happens, yet everything becomes workable. Imagine beginning this year fully awake, not driven by urgency but guided by clarity. Notice how life meets you halfway when you stop resisting it. Conversations feel easier. Decisions feel clearer. Even challenges feel more instructive than threatening. Awareness does not remove difficulty, it removes distortion. The habit that changes your life is beginning each day awake. Before reaching for distraction, pause. Before reacting, notice. Before planning, feel where you are. This small moment of presence sets the tone for everything that comes next. From awareness, discipline becomes natural. From clarity, calm becomes steady. Here is the deeper truth. Awakening does not ask you to become someone new. It asks you to stop leaving yourself moment by moment. When you stay present, fear loses its imagination. Regret loses its weight. The mind stops rushing ahead or behind and finally stands where life is actually happening. As this year opens, reflect with courage. What truth are you ready to face without avoidance? What pattern are you willing to see clearly, without judgment? And will you begin this year awake or asleep in routine? Let this be your quiet commitment, not to do more, but to see more. Remember this gently. When awareness leads, the path does not need to be forced. Bonus principle, the one truth. You look for one truth that will simplify everything, one habit strong enough to hold your life steady. After all the effort, the striving, the becoming, the answer is quieter than expected. Freedom is not complicated. Kindness, practiced with presence, changes everything. When the heart is gentle, the world softens, not because the world changes, but because you meet it without armor. Most suffering begins when presence is missing. You move through life on autopilot, protecting yourself from imagined threats, rushing past moments that needed care. Kindness without presence becomes routine. Presence without kindness becomes cold. But when both meet, something fundamental shifts. Separation fades. The mind stops defending. Life feels less hostile, more workable. Small acts matter more than dramatic intentions. A patient breath before speaking, a gentle word instead of silence, full attention given to one moment. These gestures seem small, yet they quietly reshape how the mind relates to the world. What you touch with awareness begins to heal, and what you approach with care no longer feels like a fight. Notice how kindness feels when it is done slowly, when you listen without rushing, when you help without needing credit. The body relaxes, the breath deepens, even time feels less urgent. This is not emotional weakness, it is strength without resistance. Presence turns kindness into clarity. Here is the habit that holds all others together. In each moment, ask two simple questions. Can I be here, and can I be gentle? This needs no belief system, no dramatic change, just steady attention. When the answer is yes, suffering loosens. When the answer is no, Awareness itself becomes the start of freedom. There is a turning point hidden here. You stop trying to control life and begin cooperating with it. Fear loses its grip because it cannot survive in steady presence. Anger softens when met with understanding. Discipline becomes natural when actions come from care rather than pressure. Calm becomes stable, not fragile. As this year unfolds, reflect honestly. Where can you bring a little more gentleness today? Where can you slow down enough to truly be present? These are not small questions. They shape the quality of your mind. Remember this quietly as you move forward. You do not need to fix yourself to be free. When presence guides your kindness, freedom follows without effort. Quick summary of the principles. Stop forcing the river. Forcing change strengthens inner resistance instead of peace. Effort without awareness feeds ego-driven struggle. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering arises from grasping. Lasting change begins with understanding, not pressure. Begin without becoming. True transformation does not require a new identity. Buddhism emphasizes seeing clearly, not self-improvement. Growth happens by letting go, not adding more. Freedom begins when you stop carrying what is unnecessary. Make kindness your daily discipline. Small acts of kindness retrain the mind toward peace. Compassion dissolves inner conflict and separation. Kindness practiced quietly shapes long-term happiness. Consistent goodness changes both inner and outer life. 4. Choose stillness over reaction. Stillness trains the mind to respond wisely. Silence weakens compulsive emotional patterns. Calm awareness prevents regret and burnout. A steady mind creates clarity in action. Say no to the shiny path. Distraction breaks attention and increases suffering. Desire multiplies when awareness is absent. Simplicity restores inner strength and direction. Focus is a spiritual discipline, not a limit. Sleep like a monk. Rest is a form of self-respect and awareness. A balanced life calms the nervous system. Evenings shape the quality of the mind. Discipline supports peace more than motivation. Relationships reveal the mind. Conflict exposes unconscious attachment to ego. Awareness transforms communication naturally. Peaceful presence reduces unnecessary friction. Inner clarity improves relationships without force. Presence is the habit beneath all habits. Awareness guides every meaningful habit. Presence reduces effort and increases effectiveness. Right action arises naturally from attention. A conscious mind simplifies life. Happiness must be practiced. Happiness is cultivated, not found. Waiting for circumstances creates dissatisfaction. Daily intention sustains emotional balance. Joy grows through mindful participation. Success follows. Alignment. Inner order comes before outer achievement. Alignment reduces friction and confusion. Clear values guide easy decisions. Peaceful focus improves effectiveness. Start the year awake. Awareness is the true beginning of change. Unconscious habits repeat the past. Clarity reshapes the future naturally. A conscious year begins now. Bonus. The one truth. Presence and kindness together dissolve suffering. Small actions create deep inner shifts. Awareness gives meaning to simplicity. This habit contains all others. You do not begin a new year by pushing yourself forward. You begin by becoming still enough to see clearly. Zen reminds us that transformation is not dramatic. It is honest, quiet, and consistent. When awareness leads, effort softens, and life reorganizes itself without struggle. When the mind is at peace, the whole world bows. Let 2026 be shaped not by pressure or ambition, but by presence, kindness, and deliberate simplicity. Begin this year awake, and let everything else follow naturally. If this reflection resonated with you, like and share this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to Buddha's Eternal Wisdom for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful, conscious life.